All right, let's wrap up day one of the 2024 virtual roadshow with a bang. We have Lauren Muldoon here with WiiM, Adept, and Speaker Snap. It's going to show you the full solution that these products can offer. WiiM's been fantastic for us. I don't know if anybody out there has not tried WiiM, but the app is super intuitive. It's been quite the success story for us at 21st Century Distributing here. So we'll get into those products. We'll get into the Adept lineup for their speaker offering. Maybe a little bit about Speaker Snap too, which is what we offer. You guys will receive 50 points for attending this last live webinar of the day, and it will be recorded and in the Roadshow site, so you'll be able to see the recording after the fact for 20 points that we will give to you. And then we're going to be raffling off a pair of Adept outdoor speakers, IO80s. So go ahead and ask those questions. We got a poll that's going to come up as well. We'll go ahead and raffle off another pair of outdoor speakers for you guys. And I actually have these at my house. They're fantastic. So without further ado, Lauren with WiiM, thank you so much for joining us today at the Virtual Roadshow.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, 21st Century, for putting this on. It's really this is a first time around for me with 21st Century and this virtual roadshow. This has been quite a surprise and uplifting, in the response that I have seen here. So without further ado, so WiiM, Adept Audio, Speaker Snap, these are all brands that are part of Origin Acoustics. WiiM is a partner, and Origin created Adept Audio and owns Speaker Snap. So getting into this here, we have, all right, let me get on the right screen to be able to click forward. All right, so we're going to talk about Adept Audio first, and where Adept lies, and what its value, and why it was created. So we wanted to create a new premium brand of architectural speakers. Yeah, why? Because we can. Why did Tesla come out with their electric car? Why am I having a brain fade on what's his name? Anyways, it's the whole idea that brought me to this. I was with another speaker brand for 17 years, and this is the first time I went sideways and went to another speaker brand or another company. Was the idea behind it, number one. Number two was the folks behind it, and number three, the industrial design and the mechanics of the speaker. Never mind, I did have to make sure it sounded good as well. So the brand is owned by has its own acoustical and industrial design, so it's not a rebadged anything. It is a brand, a product that is built specifically for Adept Audio. It's designed and built by Origin Acoustics here. Some big differentiators here is great sound. Okay, we're a speaker manufacturer, so why shouldn't we make things that sound good? That's our business, is making speakers that sound good. And in this whole lineup, which blew me away when I was doing my blind listening test in the interview process, was how the whole lineup had the same family sound. The timbre matching of the whole lineup gives you the ability to mix and match as you wish, as you please, if you're doing a surround system or you're doing various rooms in a house. It gives you that capability there, and they're all going to be blending very nicely together. Plays louder with a wider dynamic range, so you have greater definition than other brands out there. It's designed for high-res streaming media demands. All right, voiced by in-house veteran acousticians, excuse me. And we have some reviews that I'll show you at the back end of this presentation here. This presentation will be made available to 21st Century to disseminate if you wish to have it. Okay. So other differentiators, the look and the feel. So not only is the sound is important, it can sound really good, but then look like garbage, like some speakers out there. But the studies show that, the product design is next to sonic performance, so it's got to look good too. I'm not used to people asking, well, I'm used to people asking me about, do they come with grills? Yes, they do come with grills. We don't show them with grills on because with the grill on, it's no different than any other speaker, essentially. So I've had people talk to me and say, well, you know what? I want to show it with the grill. I don't want to put the grill on. So don't put the grill on. Okay, that's great because they like the look. Anyways, the Adept look will help break down barriers and close some more deals because it's striking and it looks like a wheel on a high-end car. Is on the design. The baffles, striking matte and gloss offsets. So the face edge here is a matte finish, and then these caffers coming back here are a high gloss finish. This is not paint. This is done in the mold, so it's really nice in how it comes out and clean. The differentiated product and the packaging design, the bright red, gloss red beauty cartons really give it a support the quality position of the brand. So here's where this really shines. All right, for you, the dealers, the integrators that are installing this, it's not really a big deal for your customers because it's not their, this is not what they're doing. But this is where this is going to save you time, save you money, and be much safer for you and your installation teams out there. It makes you literally, you do not need to use any tools other than your hand as your only tool to install these speakers. You just put the trim ring up into the ceiling, and then you squeeze down on the red tabs, and then now it pinches between the drywall and the face of the bezel there. So all of the speakers include this. This is part of the speaker, and it's integral part of the speaker in being installed. So again, it's one-hand installation. You don't need to have the speaker in one hand and the drill in the other hand. And the grill diameter is only 10 inches, and I'll address that further. But one trim ring fits all of our 6.5-inch and 8-inch ceiling speakers. So one size fits all. Good thing to remember there. Brand management. Okay, Adept is a brand that we want and we treat like a lady that it is. All right, it's not going to be a brand out there that we're going to be moving and selling online to internet resellers, retail, or mail order. All right, this is a brand built for installing dealers like yourselves. All right, that's what this brand is built for. So we're about protecting the brand and the Adept profit for you, the dealers. So why buy Adept? Why use Adept? Proprietary patented trim ring. Yes, it is patented. And this allows for in-home speaker demos, which I'll address. It allows for quicker, faster installations. For every 4 of these that you install, you'll have only installed one of your typical dog ear speakers. So basically, you're saving 75% of the time. Not that you could take that other body that you would have put out there to do the installation, but you could use that other body to, take care of that service call that's been hanging over your head for the last 2 or 3 weeks. All right, so the elegant industrial design, quicker, safer, toolless installations, 6.5-inch, 8-inch ceiling speakers fit the same trim ring. All right, they have a limited lifetime warranty and no internet pricing or sales allowed. So the idea here that one size fits all gives you the ability to go and start selling more 8-inch ceiling speakers. Why aren't you selling them now? Because it's just really physically, it looks too darn big in the ceiling, and that's what the homeowner doesn't want to have, this big pancake on the ceiling. So with that said, the 8-inch ceiling speaker fitting behind a 6.5-inch speaker grill, need I say more? Now you can do that. You also have the ability to go, and if they blow the budget and you've spec'd the 8-inch ceiling speakers, you can go down to our 6.5-inch ceiling speakers instead of having to stay in an 8-inch like you would do with others. So we have a step down process, and so you can go and compare Adept versus Adept and easily move in and out. The IC86 is 82, 66, all the way down up through the line. These are ceiling speakers, which are sold in pairs. Our in-ceiling LCRs are fitting the same bracket, so we effectively have 9 different ceiling speakers that fit this size hole. We have another Adept advantage here is that our pre-construction brackets are reusable, and you can save 46% on that. The trim ring or the bracket, after it's installed, you can go in here, and I don't know if the picture is big enough, Mark, or should I stop sharing and show the picture?
No, I can see it.
Okay, so the wings go in underneath here, and there's tabs around here that you put them underneath. But what you do before you install the actual speakers, you reach up and unclip the tab here and remove the wing from it. The wings stay, and then this folds like this, so you could pull it out. And so now you could take, instead of $15 for a set, you can buy 2 more wings for $8 your cost. So it really is a cost reduction on that. And if you're saving, if you want to save the brackets, you know, especially if you're doing production homes, you're doing a lot of homes, it's going to help you save money when you're having to really be tight on the bids for the pre-wires. So our website, check out our website. We have some videos on our website that you can go and check out. One's on the Adept Soundscape system, one's on Adept, another one's showing speakers installed and how you can put 4 speakers in less than 2 minutes effectively. All right, not counting moving the ladder around. So let's get into some WiiM product here. So common things on WiiM is what we have here, what I'm showing here. So you have the streaming services of Spotify, TuneIn, Napster, Deezer. I'm not going to read them all off, but you can see all the icons there. Connectivity and power is 100 to 240 volt Ethernet connection, or 10 megabyte, 100 megabyte Wi-Fi 802.11, 2.4, 5 gig. You have the analog inputs, left and right RCAs, optical up to 24-bit 192, Bluetooth 5.1. And then we have the audio formats, MP hashtag, that should be MP3, AAC, ALAC, APE, FLAC, ALIF, and AirPlay 2. Now there's some new items from WiiM that do not support the AirPlay 2, and that's the Ultra and the Amp Pro. You have 24 presets in the EQ settings, different genres and what have you, 10-band graphic equalizer, a 10-band parametric equalizer to adjust based on your room characteristics. There's also room correction, which is really cool and slick how that works, and I'm going to show you that a little bit later. Now, if you have adjoining rooms and you have a little latency issue, a little bit of an echo between them, you can do that in an auto adjust if the units are located within the given rooms that they're driving the speakers, or you can manually adjust from minus 1,000 to plus 1,000 milliseconds. So here's the products here. Benefits: upgrade legacy audio systems with streaming, high quality audio, multi-room audio, smart home integration, vinyl, CD, home theater, voice control, third-party integration, etc. So there's a WiiM Pro and a WiiM Pro Plus. This unit here, all right, the WiiM Pro, WiiM Pro Plus, all are identical. The WiiM Pro Plus just has a little more ink on the bottom because it says Pro Plus. The WiiM amplifier and WiiM Amp Pro are, again, identical, just like the Pro and Pro Plus. The differences are what's inside the box. And I'll talk a little bit more about what the differences between them there. The WiiM Ultra is a little bit larger box than the WiiM amplifier, and the WiiM Amp Pro and Ultra have a color choice of silver or gray. The WiiM Ultra gives you display on the front of it and some other things there. So the WiiM Amp gives you all the connectivity and power and stuff on the right side that I talked about already. You have a 2-channel Class D amplifier, 60 watts by 2 into 8 ohms, 120 watts by 2 into 4 ohms, HDMI ARC, USB host, so you can connect a USB stick for some music playback if you have that. Your audio output is a speaker level. It has a subwoofer output with a comprehensive bass management and crossover and level and phase adjustments here, which is really, really nice at being able to do that. So you can create yourself a nice 2.1 configuration there. So the Amp Pro, what does that give you over and above the Amp? So the Amp Pro, you know, it's the same power. You have the same HDMI ARC, the USB speaker output, subwoofer, all that. You're getting a Wi-Fi 6E, all right, and then you're getting Bluetooth 5.3. You're getting some more audio formats, the Wave, WMA, OGG. The home theater, whereas the Amp gives you the PCM, The Amp Pro gives you PCM and Dolby Digital, but the Amp Pro does not give you AirPlay 2. All right, so what it also gives you, it gives you the higher resolution audio that you get with the Pro Plus. So it's 786 kilohertz on the audio versus half of that on the Amp or the WiiM Pro. Okay, so here are the differences here between the Amp Pro and the Amp. It has a post-filter feedback amplifier. It elevates the sound quality with the technology there and delivering load-independent performance. It has a better cutting-edge premium DAC, achieves industry-leading low distortion, 120 dB signal-noise ratio, which is really slick. And then the AKM DAC gives you a better line output audio quality here, this with the latest Wi-Fi 6E and the Bluetooth 5.3, along with dual antennas. So it's going to give you a much better wireless audio streaming performance over both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. And then it has some advanced thermal design in here to keep it cooler. So those are the primary things that the Amp Pro does over and above the Amp. Yeah, okay. So
you
then
want to
the
answer
WiiM Pro
questions real quick? I got a couple here. Supports Sirius XM
supports through Chromecast.
through Chromecast. Okay, and then
Through Chromecast or the units that do AirPlay 2 through AirPlay 2 or Chromecast.
Let's see here. Did you mention Dolby Atmos or DTS support? I thought that would have been for.
Yeah, so it has the Dolby Digital, which I would imagine would support the other. So I mean it's not a 5.7 point
right.
or 9 point
Not a receiver
unit. So it's just going to decode it and drop it down into a 2-channel mode or 2 or 2.
How about integration? You may get into that. Like somebody's asking for like RTI integration.
Yeah, let me get into the integration later. I have some of that there. Okay.
And then last one before we keep going, is there a device limit for the network?
So good question on that. So you need to make sure that the property has an appropriate infrastructure for the network that can accommodate the the property's needs. So if you're using an old Wi-Fi router that can do 25 units and there's 4 people in the house, you're not going to have a good experience. So you want to make sure that whatever is in there for the network system, that it's robust enough to handle what you're looking to do. All right, so with that said, all of these units here will do a network connection or Wi-Fi connection. So you can do a combination of. So if everything's going into an equipment closet, hardwire it. I'm a hardwire guy. That makes it more positive there. But you could have some off rooms where you can't get a wire to, or it's just easier just to do it on Wi-Fi. You can do it on Wi-Fi. So again, it's going to be dependent upon the network that's on the property and if its capabilities of supporting. We have 25 or 28 of these going on Wi-Fi at the office, and we're not having any issues. All right, and so you could have more than that easily. Again, it's dependent upon the network. So hopefully I answered that question.
Yeah,
but good. Thank you for that. What's the difference between the Pro Plus and the Pro? Again, it's going to be a better ADC for the line input, the low noise clock and power and circuit design, and again, it's got the AKM DAC and TI op amp for better line out quality there. Where you have your 768 kilohertz PCM on there. So that's the upgrade. So the difference between a Pro and a Pro Plus is a similar difference between a WiiM amp and a WiiM amp Pro. It's the higher quality streaming. Where are you going to get your high quality streaming? If you're doing Tidal Connect, or you're doing Spotify Connect, or you're doing those higher performance streaming services, that's where you're going to want to make sure that you give your client the Pro Plus or the AMP Pro. As far as performances, your lowest performance is going to be on Bluetooth, and then your next lowest is going to be AirPlay 2. The WiiM Ultra. Okay, so this is another streamer. It looks really beautiful. It's a little bit larger than the WiiM Amp or Amp Pro, a lot larger than the WiiM Pro and Pro Plus. This is just a streamer. It does not have amplification on it. It's available in the gray or the silver. It has a beautiful 3.5-inch color touchscreen on the front. Gives you the ability to display the apps that are widgets that are in the app. Large album pictures. You have playback control. You have playing cue, presets, your EQ. The EQ, it gives you access to the 24 presets. It does not give you access to the 10-band graphic or the parametric EQ. You have to do that through the app on your phone, whether it's iOS or Droid. Audio input-output devices that guide users through the out-of-the-box experience, provides feedback, and allows users to customize the wallpaper. So when it's off, it has a clock on it or what have you. The other things on the face here is a volume knob and then a play-pause button and the addition of a headphone jack. On the back side of it, what you have above and beyond the WiiM Pro and WiiM Pro Plus is they all have the line in, line out. They all have the optical in, optical out. They have the coaxial output. They have the LAN connection. This adds in a phono connection. So you have a turntable you're going to connect to the system. You have analog input there with a ground. So it has the preamp for the phono built on board. There's a subwoofer output, so you can add a subwoofer. The trigger output is available also on the WiiM Pro and Pro Plus. So you want to do a 12-volt trigger to light up or turn down the amp. The HDMI ARC is an addition, and the USB is an addition. So those are all some really nice additions there. This also works on the new Wi-Fi 6E and has the Bluetooth 5.3 and the dual antennas and all that stuff in there that this is at. But again, this does not support AirPlay 2. So just a quick snapshot on the different units, the Amp Pro, Amp Ultra, Pro Plus, Pro, and the WiiM Mini. I didn't talk about the WiiM Mini because it's less than. It's a great unit to use for a wireless sub. The Adept subwoofers have a USB port on the back of it that will power it just fine. So all you need to do is the audio out of this into the subwoofer and then do your USB cable to get power to it, and then plug the subwoofer into the wall, and now you can have the subwoofer connected to any one of the WiiM units that you want to tie it to. So the setup. Is relatively simple. Download the app from the App Store, whether it's Apple or Droid. Open up the app. You plug in the unit. All you need to do is plug in the unit. You don't need to connect it to the network or you don't need to connect a source to it or anything like that. Just plug it in and then open up the app. And then what happens is that it will find it. If it doesn't find it, hit Add Device button. But when it finds it, it's going to show up, found a device nearby. And then you go and you hit the Setup button. Hit the Setup button, and then you're going to enter in. This is the only personal information that we're looking for. All right, we're not looking for an email address or a phone number or a person's name or anything like that. So we're not soliciting to the end user, but we need to have access to the network. So put in the network name, put in the password, hit the next button, and then now it's going to go and connecting to the network. All right, and once it goes through that, it may hit this where it needs to do a device update. If it does, it's going to take a little bit longer to set up, maybe another 4 or 5 minutes to set up. If it doesn't hit this, it's going to go right to naming it. And what you're going to do is you're going to choose from a list of preset names, or you can go in here and drop in a custom name if you wish. Once you do that, you hit the next button up in the top right corner there, and then now you have the device window here. We have house system and we have office, so we got 2 devices set up on here. So here's the device window circled in red, and you select the device, and you select the device down at the bottom there, and then you can go and hit your browse button in the lower left. All right, and then now this gives you your list of services. So these first 4 are your favorites, your music, what might be on your phone, or it might be what's on, shared music you recently played, and your home music share, which is going to be your DLNA or your NAS drive or what have you that's on there, or what's in the USB port on the WiiM amp or WiiM Ultra. But now you can scroll down through this, and it's going to give you your music services: Amazon, BBC, Calm Radio, Deezer, Napster, Quibiz. I just can't read that fast. And then you have your Connect, Spotify Connect, Tidal Connect, TuneIn, iHeart, VTuner there. Then down at the very bottom where it says select source on the family room for this unit, you can select which input you want to use. So this is using the default, which is the Ethernet. So if you want to Bluetooth into it, you can Bluetooth into it. Just select Bluetooth. You want to use your line in or your optical in, you can use any of those inputs. So you can use this as a switcher, but you can only use one input at a time. That input is going to be the Ethernet, which is going to take you to what's above, your music services or what's on the network. Your Bluetooth could be, a friend coming over. Your line in and optical in are obvious on those counts there. So once you select your source, now you're playing. Now you're playing your source and you got music going. Okay, it's really simple. Now, wait a minute. I want to link the house system with the office. So up in the top right corner of the device window, it looks like a little chain link. You hit the link button. It's going to bring up all of the devices that are on the system. So in this example, I only have the 2 devices. If I had 6 devices here, then there would be 5 listed underneath house system. And then you just go and you just touch the little blank circle again or again to connect or disconnect. All right, and then you hit your done. And then when it's grouped together, this is what you'll see. So you'll see the device that is the source. Okay, so the house system is the music that we're using, and we're sharing it with the family room. All right, and so the first level of volume control here is the group volume. I can do the house system volume by itself, or I can do the family room volume by itself. All right, I can hit the little speaker icon there, and then it turns to an X. Now I just muted the house system, but the family room is still playing. I can go and then hit it again, and then now they're all muted, and then now they're all unmuted. As you can see, it's kind of hard to see the little X down there. On the other side, the little circle with the L and the R in there, if you touch that, now you can make that currently as LR, it's left and right. You can now, the family room is just the right channel, and the house system is just the left channel. You can reverse that. You can make them all left, you can make them all right, or you can put them back and make them left and right, just by touching that spot there. Backing up here, let me back up to this here. So if you hit this little arrow here up, what it'll do is it'll collapse and you won't see any of this below here. All you'll see is the group volume. So if you don't want to see the big list of rooms, you just hit that right there and then it'll collapse it down. So the next thing in the device window in the lower right corner, is the gear, and this is where your settings are. So you want to go and make some tweaks to the system. All right, so here's where it takes you to. This is the screen. You have your device, which is listed on the top, and then these are all the things that relate to your device. Then you have your sound, which is all things that relate to your sound. And then as you scroll down, it has more features down there as far as your voice, with the Amazon Alexa settings or the Chromecast audio. And then you have your hardware status, lights, touch controls, etc. So what we can do here is if we go in top and we hit EQ, it's going to take you to the 10-band graphic equalizer. So you have your list of presets down here that you can select from, or you can just touch each one of these and adjust these as you wish, up and down to get the curve that you want. You can select parametric and go and have it do it that way. But then there's the room correction, which I'm going to address later on, which is really, really cool. Syncing the audio. So you have rooms adjoining and you're getting a little bit of a delay between the two rooms. You can hit the sync audio and hit the auto sync. And again, like I said, if they're in the same room and they can hear each other, it will balance it out and true them up so you're not going to get that delay there. If they're in a closet, you can't use that feature. You have to do manual sync, in which case you just hit manual, and then you're going to be able to adjust up or down, a swing of 1,000 milliseconds up or down to adjust it accordingly. If you have to swing it 1,000 milliseconds on each unit, I haven't had to do that. Maybe a 50 or 60 is about the most that I've had to do. One thing on this latency that you want to make sure that you don't use it for, don't use it for television. Don't use it for truing up the lip sync to YouTube channels, because YouTube channels are all over the place with their audio versus the video and the delays. If you're putting this onto a TV, put on regular TV programming and make sure it's true to that. If you true it up to the YouTube, when you go back to your regular TV, it's going to be way off. So just make sure you let your customers know that. Unused streaming services be removed. Yes, you have the long list there. We can go through and you scroll down and you go and you see where it says music services and manage. You hit manage, and now this exposes all of the services. So if the button's green, it's showing up on the main screen. If the button is not green, it's not going to show up. So you can reduce it down just to the ones that you want to have on the primary screen. If you add a new service and it's hidden, you just go back in here and unhide it and make it visible. Down here in the lower right corner of the screen is another button called settings. Okay, behind this button here, you get a whole lot of stuff. And key area here is in this box where you have your FAQs and you have feedback. So under the FAQs, you get a screen that looks like this. And you can scroll down through this screen and it has the WiiM Mini. It'll list the WiiM Pro, Pro Plus, the Amp Pro, the Ultra. It'll list how to do your Sirius XM. It'll list how to do AirPlay 2. It'll list how to do your Tidal Connect. It'll list how to do all the different things, and then it'll also have troubleshooting down there along there. So it really gives you a real in-depth support on the unit and the system and the product. If you can't find it there, you go and you just hit the submit ticket button. All right, and then it'll take you to another screen. But here's where I want to show you. These are release updates and what you might see in a release update. So on 8.16, they per channel EQ set parametric EQ settings for left right channels individually. So now you can do left channel, right channel individually in the parametric EQ. All right, which is really cool. Pre-gain feature, added logic for pre-gain functionality compatible with app version, So it gives you all these things and what they did with the bug fixes and all that. So really, they really inform you about what's going on and what they've done and such. But so here in the feedback, when you hit the feedback, now here is the only place that we ask for personal information. Why? Because you're asking us a question and we need to be able to respond. And so the only thing we're asking for here is your email. So put in there a subject, choose what type it is, choose your email, put in a description. If you have a picture, you want to drop a picture in, you can send that. Typical response time says 24 to 36 hours. All of my response times have been in under 15 hours. That doesn't help you when you're out on the job site, but it's really, they are really quick with that. if you're out on the job site, I am available. You can reach out to me. It doesn't mean I'm going to be able to answer the phone. I might be in an airplane or in a meeting or on a video call like this and not be able to get to you until I'm available again. So this is the only area there. Okay, now here's a really cool thing with the room correction. So the way this works is you're going to use your phone, whether it's an Apple, an iOS or a Droid device. All right, and you're going to start it going. You're going to hit the room correction button in the app, and then it's going to pop up with this screen here. Welcome to room correction. It tells you what to do. The room correction fine tunes your speakers to match your space perfectly. So it's listening to the speakers and how the speakers react within the room that they're in. And then it's going to adjust the parametric EQ accordingly. So stay quiet and then hit next. And then, we've tailored it's hard for me to read this myself. We've tailored a parameter EQ settings to enhance your room's acoustics dynamics. So then you can go and hit complete correction, or if you want to go hit down below here where it says adjust again. This is your filter detail. So this tells you where, what it set all of the corrections to, and the frequency and the gains on them. All right, and then you have your room correction here where it shows it's on. You can turn it off and not use it, or you can turn it back on. It's a really, really nice feature to use and be able to really fine tune your rooms.
So can we go through a couple of questions real quick?
Yep.
We'll also do a quick raffle. First one that answers this gets a pair of, we have up now, Adept Audio IO80s outdoor speakers. Give me one difference, or I guess advantage, for the WiiM Pro Plus compared to the WiiM Pro. Let's see if you guys could answer that for us, and we'll get a lucky winner, some speakers. Then let's go into some questions while we can. Can I choose variable or fixed output for the non-amplified units?
Yes. Yes, so in the area where I went to the EQ, that's where you're going to go into that area there, and you're going to have your audio output, and it'll pull up and it'll say, oh, this is only for the Pro, Pro Plus, and the Ultra. All right, and it'll pull up, first thing that's going to ask you, fixed or variable, line output, fixed or variable. All right, so yes, you're going to take this. It's a great thing to add on to a home theater receiver. So now the home theater receiver is tied in with everything else. So you put it on the fixed output, feed it to the, one of the source inputs on the home theater receiver, and you're all dialed in. And now you're using the volume on the home theater receiver. Yes, you have that capability.
One you answered already. Can devices access NAS drive, NAS music? So yeah.
Yes.
Is the USB for computer input or thumb drive?
Thumb drive or an out drive, something that has music on it, that's specifically, and it will, I had a picture of it, but I took it out, but yes, it will show that you're showing, a USB drive, and it will list the songs, tracks, as long as they're in the type of files that the system supports. MP3 or whatever, yeah.
What happens if you use 3 of the Ultra devices in one location while using Apple Play? Does it not stay in sync throughout the house?
So if I have WiiM Ultra and WiiM Pro or Pro Plus in the same system, is that what you're asking?
Yes. If you have 3 of the Ultra devices in one location while using Apple Play, does it not stay synced throughout the house? So
yes. So the WiiM Ultra does not play with Apple AirPlay. So
okay.
yeah. So the WiiM Ultra and the WiiM Amp Pro do not support Apple AirPlay.
Let's see, we answered room correction. Oh, any I know how much you could speak to this, but anything about maybe like some box speakers, sound bar? like the Sonos Arc, anything like that on the horizon?
Potentially, anything that's an iHome product or a Google product or Amazon product, it will work with. If you have the Alexa, well, I have one. I can't remember what it's called, but the Alexa Dot or the Alexa Screen or the Alexa speakers and what have you, those will show up. If you have the Alexa app on your phone, the WiiM products will show up in the Alexa app. If you're wanting to do a joining, you'll be able to join into the system. Voice control, with Alexa, you can do voice control with Alexa and on the WiiM products. You just need to set that up in the app. And same thing with the Google Home.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Yeah. I think you're going to get into. Did you get into integration as well?
Yeah, I'm a little. Yeah, I'm going to go through the WiiM product, and I'm going to go through the Adept audio product, and then I'm going to do tying it all together at the back end.
All right. Sounds good. Don't let me keep you.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Let's see. All right. So Adept audio, again, I kind of talked about it in the front end, a little rehash here. Striking brand of premium architectural speakers, indoor, outdoor subwoofers. Sounds great, superb looks, easy installation, one size fits all are just some of the little, quick sound bites for the brand. In the product line, we have in the home theater, we have in-wall IW LCR 66 and IW LCR 56. The nomenclature's in here: IW, in-wall, LCR. I'm sure you all know that, left, center, right. The first number is the size of the woofer, so it's a 6.5 inch. The second number is going to denounce what the makeup is of the tweeter and the woofer. So as a 6, it's a injected molded graphite woofer with an aluminum dome tweeter. All right, so both of these have injected molded graphite woofers, aluminum dome tweeter, 6.5 inch versus dual 5 inch here. Power handling differences. The IW LCR 66 is a real hot performer. With this unit here, you could really, if you just did a stereo, you do 2 of these to have stereo, you don't need a subwoofer. The bottom end that you're going to get out of this, you use 3 of these in the front of a surround system. You could really honestly get by without a subwoofer. You do a 5.1 or 7.1 with this, or 7.0, 5.0. You're going to just love it. The footprint for both of these units is the same. It becomes a price point for your customer and as to whether you go with the 66 or the 56. They both fit horizontally between 16 on center stud bay. These have your traditional dog legs. We have our ceiling home theater speakers. So the IC and ceiling LCR 8-inch 6 graphite with the aluminum dome. All right, so we have a 6.5 inch and an 8-inch version of the same thing. That's going to be tied to ceiling height, 8-inch, or excuse me, 8-foot ceiling, the 66 or the 86. If you're going higher, 9, 10, 12 foot, you're going to want to go with the 86 in there. And then we have the IC LCR 62, 2 being polypropylene and silk dome, is good for your entry level home theater setups. We don't have a lower end 8-inch because generally you're going to go either the top or the bottom. The middle is the ICLCR 66. Subwoofers, we have an 8, 10, 12-inch front firing active, down firing passive radiator, and then output levels of 99, 95, 101 dB volume levels. 300 watt RMS, 200 watt RMS, 180 watt RMS on these units here. All the subwoofers can handle all the bottom end that high res throws at them. They really do a nice performance out of these here. Getting into our ceiling speakers, we have 2 8-inch models. Again, this is another one where you're either going to be at the top or the bottom of the 8-inch spectrum. So we have our flagship, which is the IC and ceiling 86, which is 8-inch. Injected molded graphite with an aluminum dome tweeter, power handling 175, and one thing to note here is the sensitivity of all of our speakers are in the 90, 91, 92, 93 dB sensitivity. So you don't need a lot of power to make them go. But if you have a lot of power, they'll love you even more. 6.5-inch models. Here we have a middle one. So the IC66 in ceiling, 6.5-inch with the graphite and aluminum dome. IC64, 6.5-inch with injected molded polypropylene. So it's injected molded instead of just a formed polypropylene. And then it has a Teteron tweeter, so a Teteron soft dome tweeter there. Teteron is a synthetic silk, so it has a consistent thread thickness. So it gives you a little brighter frequency response than a regular silk dome, which has a variable thickness in the thread. But it's not as bright as the aluminum dome tweeter. So that's the differences there. Then the IC62, we threw it on the acousticians and proved that it was possible to build a ceiling speaker affordable enough, but still deliver satisfying sound. So all of our speakers were built and designed by a speaker manufacturer, Origin Acoustics, specifically for Adept Audio. All of our speakers are priced accordingly and sound accordingly. So if you go from the 62 to the 64 will sound better. If you go down from the 64 to the 62 will not sound as good, just like going up to the 66 as well. So there is a performance differences between them, but again, they are all the same family sound, timbre matching. So it really makes it nice to be able to mix and match these units here. Again, 92 dB sensitivities, 91 dB on the IC62. So here's where we have another differentiator. Everybody's got the twin tweeter 6.5-inch speaker, polypropylene woofer. So ours is polypropylene woofer, yes, and we have twin tweeters. Where we differentiate ourselves is in the tweeter. The other brands, they're doing 3/4-inch, 1/2-inch PEI hard dome tweeters, which can give you a much harsher high frequency performance. And when you think about where this type of speaker goes into a bathroom or a kitchen where you have lots of reflective surfaces, these dual 1-inch silk dome tweeters will help smooth that out and give a much warmer performance in those rooms. All right, let's move outside and do the Adept soundscape. So this we put together, and we have a complete package here. Well, almost complete. You just need to add your source to it. So this system here is a 4.1 subsat system. You get 4 satellites that are 4.25-inch woofers with a 3/4-inch PEI tweeter. Yes, like I spoke about before. And then it's a 10-inch subwoofer. It's a dome subwoofer. It's facing up, so it's not going to bird bath on you. The subwoofer is a dual installation capability, so it can sit on the hardscape like you see it fully exposed here in the picture on the box and here, or you can push. It's just call it 16 inches in diameter by 13 inches high, so you can put about 7 inches of this into the ground. So it's less intrusive into the yard. You can add up to 4 more satellites to this to make it an 8.1. That's not going to increase the performance. It's going to increase the coverage. If you want to increase the performance, double down on this system here. You're going to get double the bass output, and you're going to get double the power, of course. The subwoofer, what it does for you is it gives you a nice long range of 35 feet diameter. So 70 foot across the yard, you put this in the middle of the yard, this is going to cover that whole yard. It does a fabulous job at that. The satellite speakers are, as you see here, we have a fixed head on here. We don't have adjustable head on here. When you look at some other brands that have the adjustable head on there, and you have the little knob that you're adjusting it with to tighten it down, that it doesn't matter how tight you tighten it, it's trying to pinch. It's trying to pinch here on it to keep it from moving. That no matter how hard you hit this, barely touching this moves up and down, and it can swing left and right out of position. So whether it's the dog running around, the kids playing ball, the lawnmower, weed whacker, that no matter how much this gets hit, once you set it in place, it's going to stay and hold its position. The other nice thing is that, like the other one has a proprietary connection point between the stake and the head. So if you have a situation where you need to get up over a little pony wall, this is just a 1/2-inch pipe thread, standard 1/2-inch pipe thread. So all you need to do is go to the hardware store, get a piece of 1/2-inch pipe threaded, and now you can extend this up however high you want it to be. Or conversely, you could take and get an outdoor box with 1/2-inch cover plate on it, and you can mount this up into a pergola or patio cover or what have you. Makes it really simple. The other thing with this is that you don't have it in your hand here. You can't see it. I can't do it there, show it to you. But when you hold cheap plastic in your hand, you know what it feels like. This is not cheap plastic. You can actually take and use the stake to hammer in the other stakes. Okay, and so I was hitting all on the edge here. So no marring, very little, minimal, anything. Okay, along the top there, you're not damaging the threads or anything. So I'm confident on that these are going to be supportive and work through the whole program of the installation. These have a limited lifetime warranty, so we have that confidence there. This also includes an amplifier. This amplifier here, the Adept Amp 200, it's 200 by 2 channels. You have on the face of it a power switch, and you have a couple of trim knobs for your left and right volume. On the back, you have a analog in with a loop output, an optical in with a loop output, a subwoofer output, which we don't need for this, but this is also available on its own. We have a power control, whereas all the way to the left is a 12-volt trigger. We have in the middle is an auto on, senses a signal, it'll turn on, and then to the right it's off, meaning that you're going to manually turn this unit on and off with this push button. And over here we have a switch that is 4/8 ohm normal or 8 ohm only bridged. So we're always using this in the normal mode here. Okay, so you can stack as many of these as you want to and put as many of the landscape systems together as you need to for the project, and they can all be playing the same source, whether you're doing the analog loop out or the optical loop out here. It's 1 U high, 1/2 U wide, so you can put 2 of these side by side in a rack. The EQ presets, the first setting is flat, the last setting is for low frequency, a subwoofer, and then EQ 1, 2, 3, 4 in the middle is a +/-2 and a +/-5. So depending on if you're doing 4 sats or 8 sats or 6 sats, you might want to adjust that accordingly there.
Lauren, I see that they're weather rated. Going through the specs here, do you know what IP they're rated? And then are they salt rated as well for these outdoor
67, yeah. So there's plastic housings, and yes, the salt's fine. It's just like with anything outdoors. If you don't wash it, you don't clean it, it's going to start to get grungy and could have issues with fading and color. But as far as the performance goes, they have a limited lifetime warranty on them. And the grill is an aluminum grill on here.
Very good.
So the amplifier, no.
You think you could wrap this up in 5 minutes?
Yeah. Well, I have 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
All right. Let me speed wrap through
Everybody's
this.
got to eat. Been on here all day.
Oh, yeah, me too. Okay, got it. All right, so we have your typical indoor-outdoor cabinet speakers, 8-inch 3-way, which is what we're giving away today. That retails for $1,000 a pair. So it's a nice little package there. 6.5-inch, 5.25-inch. They do not have 70-volt transformers like the 8-inch does. We have rock speakers, so if you want to go that route, check out our website. Reviews. Here's the reviews that we have that I spoke of. The IC86, 82, 66, the in-wall. The IW66 has more bass due to the dual 6.5-inch woofers versus these 56. There's a little more treble to balance that out. The IW LCR66 sounds more dynamic and powerful. It's enough bass, and the subwoofer is definitely optional. So then here's the outdoors and such. So now let's put these together here. So here's where WiiM and Adept really come together in making and things more valuable. Your traditional multi-room audio systems, they start out at $1,000 a zone. With Adept and WiiM, the WiiM amp at $299, the Adept IC62 is retailing at $249. So you're at $548, $549 for a zone starting point there. All right, so 3 zones, $1,650 versus $3,000. Of course, your labor and materials need to be added to that, but those are the common pieces there. It's also going to save time on the installation here because the amp and the speakers can be in the same room, so you don't have to wire from room to room. You can just wire within the room. But you can also go the other direction here and do a high performance system. And instead of spending 70% on the amp streamer, you could spend 30% on the amp streamer and 70% on the speakers, which is thus going to give you a higher profit margin on the setup here. But then the flip side here, where you can take it even further, is doing a blended system where you do budget rooms and high performance rooms. All right, and so now you can have $550 rooms and you can have $1,000 rooms. Or you can go and even grow more, where you can take that high performance plus, add a subwoofer to it, put an outdoor zone in there. All right, and putting some systems together. You have the landscape system I showed you, retails for $2,500. You add a WiiM Pro at $150, it's $2,650. You've got a system that's working great. All right, all right there. The outdoor, then a base 4-zone system, retail, a base 4-zone system, 4 amplifiers, 4 streamers, 4 pairs of speakers for less than $2,200. You could do that same system, but change one of the zones to outdoors. You're at less than $2,600. You want to go and take and do a high performance 4-zone. You're at $4,000. You have the landscape system. Adding that in there is $2,600. I think I already doubled down on that one there. But now you can go and you want to take it up to, how about a performance blended 6-zone system for $11,500. All right, so this gives you 2 WiiM amps. It gives you 3 of the amp 200s. The 4th one comes with this landscape system. And then you have 5 pairs of ceiling speakers, a pair of outdoor speakers, and a subwoofer. So now you really have a system that can really go the distance here. And it's $11,500. That's getting up into the higher end systems. But you can, again, as I was showing, you can start with a 4-zone setup at less than $2,000 retail for the product. Little recap: the Adept Advantage, one size fits all. All right. And then we have the device and content control with the WiiM products here. Choose your audience. Okay, your current multi-room audio systems, this is your audience. All right, with the Adept and the WiiM product, here's your audience. All right, you have a lot more people that you can jump in there.
Does everybody realize that the installation process with Adept is the same as Origin Acoustics, if everybody's maybe familiar with Origin Acoustics? Just wanted to reiterate that. Very easy installation process. And
so these 2 big circles behind me, all right, so I have, this is my 8-inch, this is my 6.5 inch. You can see that the 8-inch speaker grill is bigger than the 6.5 inch. Wait a minute, let me fix that. Now they're both the same size.
Yeah.
All right, but the idea here is that this grill here, okay, come on, behave.
Yeah, just being able to upgrade is simple.
The 8-inch speaker, take it out, unhook it up. This is the 6.5 inch speaker here. Disconnect it. Connect it here.
So it's 6.5 inch, 8-inch fits into the same bracket.
Okay, grills. We have square grills available too, if you want a square grill. And just to show you the difference between our grills and their grills. All right, so there's the difference here, and you can see the difference is 3/8 of an inch. Now you talk about an 8-inch grill, you're looking at about that much difference. So it's going to make it easier for you to upsell your customers into the 8-inch models versus the 6.5-inch models. And it's not that you're taking them into a direction that they don't need to go. It's taking them into the idea that they can have better sound and more sound in their space and not worry about having a big pancake in the ceiling.
Well, Lauren, thank you so much. A lot of information here. Really appreciate it. We stock the WiiM line and Adept Audio at all of our 21st Century locations. If you have any questions, reach out to us. Reach out to your sales rep. Really appreciate you doing this for us. We're going to start bright and early tomorrow at 8 a.m. with IC Real Time. But Lauren, really appreciate your time today.
Okay, let me just do a PS.
A PS.
A PS. The remote that comes with the WiiM product. All right, who cares, right? I got my phone to do everything that I need to do. What this is nice for is that you can have this sitting on the counter right there, and you come home and you hit any 1, 2, 3, or 4. These are the presets. So when you do a preset on a zone, you hit that button there, and then boom, the system's coming on. And so you can have your 4 favorite presets like you do in your car stereo, just to hit this, and then you can do your play, pause, volume level, and then you have your microphone here, so if you want to voice activate it as well. So little cool feature that this has. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. It works off of Bluetooth, and how it works. I get better use of this out in my backyard than I do my phone because my Wi-Fi sucks in the yard. My Wi-Fi doesn't reach out all the way. So I got to fix that. But anyways, that's it. Thank you all very much for your time. Appreciate it. Any questions, as Mark said, reach out and somebody will help you and get you through.
Thank you for putting our contact information with our phone numbers on there. It's good.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody. Good night. We will see you tomorrow morning.